trying to obviously always get the best 11 out in the field and that kind of thing. So it's just some things that we experiment through the week.
The speed obviously with Oregon, but in terms of the defensive front, are they traditional there? Do they stunt and stem a lot, or what are you seeing from them?
They do some different things by their alignments. It's a little bit different than most, and their body types. Their two defensive ends are long, tall, really powerful guys that use their hands extremely well, really well coached. But they do a little bit of different things that you don't normally see from the structure of a defense. So obviously being keyed in and communicating and that kind of thing is of the utmost.
Week one, I think Coach said he wasn't as pleased as he could have been with not getting blocks at the second level. How's that progressing, and how key is it to get hats up there this weekend?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, their linebackers are very active. They run extremely well. We took some strides last week, getting better in that area. We still aren't where we need to be, and especially against a team like this, again with their speed and how active their backers are, we got to be at our best. So that's been a point of emphasis this week, and all that we do. But it is a very skilled defensive team at the play.
How challenging is Oregon's athleticism on the front?
Their body types are powerful. Tall frames that use their hands well, that have played, quite a few snaps under their belt. Even their backups at that have played quite a bit. We're going to have to sustain and maintain blocks. We're going to have to, this is a game where, you start playing against a team like this. You can't be off a step. You can't be, missing a hat placement. You can't be poor with your hands, or else, that'll hurt you. And in terms of, what we work towards as far as negative yardage plays and things like that, and staying ahead of the chains that can put you behind the chains. But they are a very skilled bunch that we got to be pinpoint on in everything we do.
Several offensive linemen spoke to us yesterday and talked about the opportunity to help keep the offense on the field as much as possible this week, that they know sustaining possessions and drives is going to be a key. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you always like to have an explosive play, and you're never mad if you have one. But a lot of respect is for Oregon, for the program that they are and for the things that they've accomplished, and obviously the fast tempo of their offense and what they do and so forth. And I think the thing that's missing is really a lot of respect that should be given to their defense. I'm talking about nationally, because I think that they do, again, an exceptional job at the fundamentals, the way they play and fly to the football. But as we've stressed, and I stressed to our guys up front, I said, hey, we can play a part in this by working on maintaining drives to allow our defense to have a chance to rest. It can't be a 3 and out and then back out in the field again for what may be an 8-9 play drive. And that's why it's a team game. And again, the special teams come into play, but all those things are important. That we make an entire team effort for what we do. And sometimes people look at it and say, well, Oregon's offense. Well, there's a lot of things that they do well, but we can have a say as far as being able to maintain some drives and keep our defense off the field.
I know the numbers have been good in the running game so far, but Coach Jones acted like even last week after the 300-yard game against Austin Peay, there were still some yards on the field. But as far as blocking, have you guys been where you'd like to be at this point in the run game?
Well, the thing that we improved on last week that was a step in the right direction was, after week one, there was a lot of plays where we didn't quite finish our blocks in week one. In week two, we took strides in the fact that there was more guys, as we term it, straining to sustain our 63, 6 seconds, 3 great efforts. There was guys that were doing that more early on, and in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we started to get a little bit winded where it wasn't happening like we'd like to. But I like the fact that we made strides in terms of the effort, and that was pointed out in terms of sustaining blocks. We had more guys that we had with knockdowns that, again, are a result of sustaining the block for a long period of time. It's outworking your opponent. And that was the biggest thing that I was pleased about, where a guy like Tiny Richardson had a guy blocked against Austin Peay and didn't quite work to finish him off. And not so much to put him on his back, but just literally sustain his block until the back was tackled, or if he scored. So that was rewarding, and I think they truly saw it and they say, I get it now. So we gotta, it's something you just never assume. You got to keep demanding that. You got to keep praising that when it happens. You got to make sure you correct it when it's not happening, and then you just and those results of yardage is what you were working towards, and why we got what we did.
Do you get the sense that your guys up front are really relishing this opportunity, that they're looking forward to a chance to prove themselves against a big name opponent?
You know, I've liked this part about them, and again, it's been a short period of time of being around them, but they're pretty much, steady in terms of their demeanor. You know, from Austin P to last week to this opportunity, which I like that because, we never would like our guys to be so high and amped for one game and then the next game they're not. That you say, well, who's the true you? I think you should bring your approach every week and respect every opponent, regardless if it's 1AA, whether it's Oregon, whether it's whomever. That you truly respect that opponent. You enjoy that opportunity, and I believe, knowing them like I do, that they, we talked a little bit about it leaving the field. That hey, this is, we're going out there with a purpose, and I can see the look in their face and their demeanors that they're excited about this.
That steady approach, how valuable can that be, particularly going on the road when you're expecting that sort of hostile environment?
I think it's really it's valuable because of adversity. There's going to be adversity at some point in time, as there is in every game, and how we react to it. And I think that the way that they have just a calm demeanor about themselves in terms of, I think it's probably maturity and experience, but I think that's huge to be going to a hostile environment where, again, they need to be the heartbeat of some younger guys to really handle situations the right way. So it's huge.
Coach, what does Oregon's defensive line look like, and what are they going to try and do to you guys?
They're big, really fundamentally sound, use their hands extremely well. Their front three are very active with their scheme and what they do defensively. They present problems, and in terms of some different things that you don't see on a regular basis as an offensive line. So footwork being critical, landmarks, your hands. They have two down linemen that have tremendous hands in which they use them. They got great length. So the importance of our hands being tight and inside is a key. So as I mentioned earlier, we don't have room for error. We can't. If you do, you get exposed on a given play. And as I've always said, it just takes one to go bad and the play's not good, and we got a negative play. So we got to be on high alert every play in terms of being pinpoint on. And I sense it as the start of this week, and obviously the opportunity we have, that the urgency levels at an all-time high. So I believe that the guys will respond to that, and we just got to respond consistently. We got to react to an adverse situation that occurs and bounce back the next play, and don't let it be one that it's a snowball type of deal where it's one play after that. We got to snap and clear and move on to the next one.
Did y'all change tempo with the offensive line a lot from the second quarter to the third?
Probably the third quarter a little bit more so, because we were able to have the success in the third quarter, getting into a rhythm and getting the ground game going like we did. There was no real, the biggest thing in an up-tempo offense is an incomplete pass is like a turnover. It slows the offense down. You can't have it, regardless of what happens. So we were able to move at a faster pace because we were getting some chunk yards on the ground. I know our line was excited and getting momentum by that, and we're feeling some success from that. So we were able to move off of our adrenaline with our tempo being faster. So yeah, the third quarter was. And we wanted to come out with a statement that we did in the third quarter, saying we need to make a statement on this drive that this is the way the second half's going to go, and we did.
How did Dylan Wiseman look for that first time out?